In the year 897, Rome witnessed a scene so bizarre it still shocks historians today. The Eternal City, a crucible of faith and power, was about to host a trial unlike any other. It was a spectacle of justice, or perhaps madness. Pope Stephen VI ordered the exhumation of his predecessor, Pope Formosus, who had been dead for months. This was no quiet reburial. It was an act of profound public desecration. The air in the basilica must have been thick with a chilling anticipation. The corpse was dressed in papal robes, seated on a throne, and placed on trial for crimes against the church. Imagine the scene: a decaying figure, propped up, facing its accusers in a solemn court. It was a grotesque parody of legal proceedings. Formosus, the deceased, had been a controversial figure in life. He had navigated the treacherous waters of 9th century Italian politics, often aligning with different factions. His papacy was marked by shifting loyalties and powerful enemies. Stephen VI, his successor, harbored a deep personal animosity towards Formosus. This hatred stemmed from complex political rivalries and theological disputes that plagued the papacy during this tumultuous period. The stakes were incredibly high. The accusations against Formosus were numerous and severe. They included perjury, violating canon law, and aspiring to the papacy while still a bishop. These were charges that could condemn a living man to eternal damnation. With trembling deacons answering for the dead pope, the trial proceeded as though Formosus were alive. A single deacon was appointed to speak on behalf of the silent, decaying defendant. It was a chilling charade. The prosecution, led by Stephen himself, was relentless. They presented their case against the cadaver, detailing every alleged transgression. The atmosphere must have been thick with a morbid solemnity, bordering on the absurd. Unsurprisingly, given the nature of the proceedings, the verdict was guilty. The outcome was predetermined, a foregone conclusion orchestrated by a pope consumed by vengeance. Justice in this instance was a twisted mockery. The corpse was stripped of its vestments, a final act of humiliation. Then, in a horrifying display, 3 fingers used for blessing were cut off. These were the very fingers that had consecrated the Eucharist and blessed the faithful. The mutilated body was then dragged through the streets of Rome, a public spectacle of degradation. Finally, it was thrown into the Tiber River, a final ignominious disposal. The river became its watery, temporary grave. This grotesque episode, known as the Cadaver Synod, epitomized the chaos of Rome's politics in the 9th century. It was a period where power struggles often devolved into shocking acts of barbarity and superstition. Later, popes condemned the act, attempting to erase this stain from papal history. Formosus was posthumously rehabilitated, and Stephen VI's actions were declared null and void. The Church sought to restore some semblance of order. However, the image of a rotting corpse on trial remains one of the most disturbing spectacles in Church history. It stands as a stark reminder of the dark depths to which human ambition and political vendettas can sink. The Cadaver Synod serves as a chilling historical footnote, a testament to a time when the sacred and the profane collided in the most unimaginable ways. It is a story that continues to intrigue and horrify centuries later. It reminds us that even in the highest echelons of power, the line between justice and madness can become terrifyingly blurred. The dead, it seems, are not always safe from the living's wrath.